The ongoing drama at Red Bull, revolving around Christian Horner and the allegations made against him by a female employee, is set to reshape not only the Red Bull racing team, but also the sport in general. The fact that Red Bull concluded that he was innocent and suspended the female employee speaks volumes about how powerful Horner is on the team. That power, however, might not bode well, as it might end in Verstappen and Newey leaving, setting the stage for the disintegration of one of the most dominant teams in the history of Formula One. So how big will this be, and can Red Bull recover? After the dominating 1-2 victory at Jeddah for Red Bull, the most interesting thing about the weekend wasn't on the track at all, but rather off it, as rumours swirled that Horner could be fired by the company before the race in Australia in 2 weeks' time. Red Bull cleared Horner of any wrongdoings before the Bahrain Grand Prix, but looking at it from this point, that was the start of a new part in this whole saga. A few days later, an anonymous email with unverified information was sent to hundreds of senior F1 personnel and media by Red Bull racing consultant and Red Bull employee Helmut Marko, but also, surprisingly, Jos Verstappen. What was strange, however, is why Jos Verstappen also received the email with the leaked photos, with him being the only one not currently connected to Formula One in any way, rather than being the father of Max Verstappen. Marko told Austria's ORF that there is a theoretical possibility that he could also be suspended before the next race, given that Red Bull GmbH is currently conducting an internal investigation into the events of the past few weeks, including the multiple media leaks of alleged investigational material. Jos Verstappen didn't give up on pursuing the scenario of pushing Horner from the helm of Red Bull Racing, as he stated after the Bahrain Grand Prix that Red Bull risked being torn apart if Christian Horner remains as team principal. This was all part of a year-long power struggle within Red Bull that started with the passing of Dietrich Mateschitz, dividing the team on one side between Horner and the Thai ownership, which holds 51% of the shares, and the Verstappen family and the Austrian ownership, currently holding 49%. However, it does seem like Christian Horner is currently holding things in his own hands, as it emerged that Red Bull had suspended the female employee who blamed Horner, with the BBC reporting the suspension came on the grounds of the employee being dishonest in their testimony. This led to an escalation of tensions over the Saudi Arabian GP weekend, with Marko leaving the paddock on Thursday before arriving on Friday accompanied by CEO Oliver Mintzlaff, the businessman in charge of the Austrian side we mentioned earlier. Now, speaking to Sky F1 after the Saudi Arabian GP, Horner spoke about the ongoing situation that's involved so many leading figures from within the racing team and the broader company. Obviously, a lot is made of this stuff, he said, denying that an ongoing battle for control is ongoing. But we're one team and nobody is bigger than the team. This team comprises across the different entities of over 1,400 people, and everybody has a role to play, and that's from the very bottom to the very top, and without them performing, you don't achieve performances like this. Unfortunately, there's been obviously a lot of speculation this weekend, but once again, our focus is very much on the track. Now, should Helmut Marko be the one to leave Red Bull, it would have massive repercussions within the team, because Max Verstappen publicly stated his support for the Austrian head of the Red Bull Junior program, saying that if Marko leaves, so will he. This will be huge, as currently there are talks that Mercedes are the most interested team to get Max's services, considering Hamilton will be joining Ferrari in 2025. Horner said that if Max wanted to leave Red Bull, then the team would not hold him back, as no one should be forced to stay with a team they don't want to, but he's confident Max will see out his 2028 contract. Verstappen called for peace in the camp, but given the amount of influence his father has on him and his career, it's no wonder that he, of course, will be on his dad's side. Another huge problem, however, for Red Bull is that Adrian Newey is reportedly also on the exit door of Milton Keynes, as Ferrari is apparently willing to give the legendary aerodynamicist a blank check in Maranello. Despite Ferrari's only winning one race in 2023, which to be honest is one more than every other team rather than Red Bull, there's a prevailing sense of optimism around the team, a stark contrast to the challenges plaguing Mercedes and the ongoing turmoil at Red Bull. Guided by chairman John Elkann, Ferrari does try hard to rejuvenate its performance and please its massive fan base. Having already made inroads against Mercedes, Elkann has set his sights on renowned engineer Adrian Newey, as he aims for Newey to join Ferrari and design a car capable of matching Hamilton's prowess on the track. with tensions evidently escalating within Red Bull. Ferrari sees an opportunity to disrupt their winning streak. Newey, however, will not be the only guy Ferrari and Elkann would be interested in stealing from Red Bull. Recent reports indicate that Ferrari is actively targeting several key personnel from Red Bull, particularly those who played significant roles in the success of the RB20 car, albeit not at the level of top figures like Adrian Newey and Pierre Wache. Ferrari's attention is focused on 4 pivotal engineers from Red Bull, starting with Enrique Balbo, the head of aerodynamics, whom Ferrari initiated discussions with during last year's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and Ben Waterhouse, the head of performance engineering, are also among Ferrari's targets. Additionally, Alessandro Germani, renowned for his expertise in computational fluid dynamics, is seen as a valuable addition to Ferrari's aerodynamics team. Should Ferrari manage to get all these people, then we're suddenly looking at a Ferrari team in 2025 that will not only compete against Red Bull, but will probably win in a bunch of races. And why not even compete against them for the title in the last season before the massive engine regulation changes in 2026, which will definitely reshape the sport. Newey leaving, however, is totally dependent on how things shape up in Red Bull in the upcoming period. Meetings reportedly happen in Dubai on Sunday between the Red Bull GmbH power holders Minslav, Franz Watzlawick and Chalem Udvidia. German media reports indicate a shift in Udvidia's stance regarding Horner. Udvidia, representing the Thai majority shareholders with 51% ownership, previously demonstrated public support for Horner at the Bahrain Grand Prix. However, according to F1Insider.com's Ralph Back and Motorsport Total's Christian Nimmervoll, the Thai shareholders now align with the Austrian faction in favour of parting ways with Horner, and the meeting's agenda supposedly includes discussions on Horner's future, with indications suggesting he may lose his position before the upcoming race in Australia. Now, despite these reports, insider sources strongly denied claims of Horner's imminent removal as team principal, labeling them as baseless rumours and pure gossip. Horner pointedly hit back after the race in Jeddah, stating that they're a team and no single individual is bigger than the team, apparently willing to call Verstappen's bluff over his threat to leave. Horner has repeatedly called for a line to be drawn under the controversy, but if anything, the weekend only exposed the scale of the contortions racking the team, now involving the Thai majority owners of the parent company, the Austrian wing of said company, Horner and his opponent, and of course the sponsors and partners watching it with increasing unease. If, however, anything of this comes to fruition, then it will mean a massive shift in the paddock, with Red Bull definitely no longer holding the strings and dominating the championships like they do now, with barely even 50% of the car's potential being used. Thai support is very important to Horner. No matter how much power the British team principal has in the team, at the end of the day, what matters is who the shareholders support. As for Verstappen and Newey, their stay in the team heavily depends on Horner's choices, considering Helmut, especially for Verstappen, as it's now proven that Verstappen's loyalty doesn't lie in the team, but rather in one specific person. This stands in complete contrast to what Horner stated, and what is generally the truth in any sport, that no person is bigger than the team, and this might very well be the beginning of the end of Red Bull's dominance. So what do you think? Could Horner be sacked in another twist of events in this ongoing power struggle saga in Red Bull? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.